Andy and Brenden.
This is the big show, baby.
Serving up takes on Mizzou, the pros, and everything in between. Want to join in? Call or text the show at 573-875-KTGR. The Big Show starts now.
You bet it does. Welcome into Thursday's edition of The Big Show on your total sports station, KTGR. Andy Humphrey and Brenden Schaefer here. Thanks for hopping in on a Thursday. We have our top five, bottom five NFL teams to bring to you. So we get set for this weekend's slate of action. We also have Play, Fade, Eliminate. We'll try to help you out with your fantasy football teams today. Brendan's always ready for that.
Oh, baby.
But
you know I'm ready for that. I've been making trades. I've been scouring the waivers for injured players or players that are replacing injured players.
Several of those, tell you what.
There's a lot to get to. Can I tell you a guy that I this isn't a joke. I picked him up today and stashed him away. Fantasy football 2025. Taysom Hill is practicing in a limited capacity for the New Orleans Saints.
Let's go.
Doing some QB stuff, doing some tight end stuff. He's coming back from an ACL tear, and he's 35 years old, and I'm still picking him up.
He's really 35?
Yes.
Oh,
he's not a young man.
No, I thought he would still be maybe 30. Like,
no, he was older when he broke out as a fantasy player. Like,
wow.
He was always in his 30s, enduring for all time. But he tore his ACL, and everybody's like, okay, he's older. He's done. Like, you had a good run, Taysom Hill. Nah, he's back at practice today. And they have no quarterback. So Kellen Moore is 37 years old, head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Taysom Hill is 35 years old.
There, maybe.
Couldn't
hurt.
It's kind of fun to think about, but I don't know. That's my fantasy football update for today. I'm so low in some of my leagues. I picked up Taysom Hill because I am that desperate.
Well, are you that desperate? Listening 875-KTGR. You can call or text us. Tell us what you need us to weigh in on for your fantasy football lineup, and we'll do that at 525. You can also leave a comment on our YouTube channel at KTGR Sports, where we're live right now. So we'll talk NFL, we'll talk fantasy football. We'll also talk about a lot of different things in college sports. And maybe ask the question of, is there too much change right now in college sports? Is it a little frustrating to you, or do you not care about it? Do you just care about the games being what they are, how entertaining they are at this point, and then the back end of it? Now, don't tell me how the sausage gets made. Tell us how you feel through several different college stories that could affect the future of how things run. 875-KTGR. We'll get into some of that here in just a little bit. You can also tweet us at KTGR Big Show and find us on Facebook at facebook.com/KTGR Big Show.
Now, the Big Show's Big Deal.
Good news for the Chiefs today. They had pretty much everyone put in a full practice today, except for cornerback Christian Fulton, still dealing with an injury that has kept him out of the last couple of games. It was good news to see defensive end Mike Dana put in a full practice today, according to the Chiefs. He has also missed back-to-back games for the team due to injury, so maybe they get a little bit healthier in the edge rushing room. As the Chiefs, well, this was their first practice of the week that we officially learn injury availability for, because they get one extra day to prepare for their next game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's next Monday night at 7:15 down in Jacksonville, as the Chiefs look to get above 500 for the first time this season. See if they can get that done and how guys progress throughout the rest of the week. That is the Big Show's Big Deal on the second day of October 2025. You can call or text us here at 875-KTGR if you want to weigh in on the stories of the day. Like, there was a lot happening today, or really the last couple of days, around just the future of college sports and how it can operate going forward. Maybe the funniest of which, Brenden, that I think all of us could have seen coming, was that there are a couple of collectives out there, or people from the NIL collectives for certain schools. I think there was one from the ACC, another one from a power conference school out there. They told Front Office Sports, look, we're not waiting around for the NIL clearinghouse anymore. We're not waiting for this NIL Go entity to tell us that our athletes' NIL deals are kosher, essentially. They're good to go. You can have them. No, we're not waiting around for their approval. We're just going to pay them because they're too backlogged. It's taking too long. we can't wait any longer. We're just going to pay these people because that's what we agreed to. And you can give us approval, don't give us approval, but
We
it's
don't
going
care
through.
anymore.
We don't care anymore. Yeah.
Basically saying we're doing legitimate NIL deals. We believe they're legitimate, right? Our players have reason to believe, our business partners, whatever these cases may be, we have reason to believe that these are on the up and up. We know we have to go through the red tape of y'all approving them, but inherent to that is y'all approving or disproving. Like, tell us something. You can't leave these in limbo for weeks at a time. Tens of millions of dollars of these deals, Andy, are just hanging out for weeks at a time without an expedited review for these collectives and these athletes and these schools and these businesses to get an understanding of what the expectations are and whether their deals are approved. They basically put this in place. They said, oh, well, Deloitte or whatever. Well, those are the smart people. Those are the pencil pushers. They know what's going on, and they created this software, NIL Go. It's going to handle everything for us. It's just nothing's happening. And so they're like, whatever. There are collectives. Long story short, collectives are deciding these rules aren't real. They're not enforceable because you guys
at least
aren't
they're not
holding up
worth
your end of the
waiting
bargain.
around for. If it's taking this long, like we're trying to follow the rules. We're giving you our NIL deals and letting you decide, hey, is this cool? Is this not cool? Like, we want to actually go by the book on this, but you're not acting fast enough, or your computer isn't acting fast enough. Like, that's what the real issue is here. And I don't blame those collectives for thinking, okay, yeah, this is taking too long. We're into the season now. Let's go through with these, because we don't want them to be, we don't want the player that we agreed to all of a sudden think, well, maybe they have a really good season. They're like, and they come back to the table like, okay, I want more. And now I got to do this process again. Like, no, we're just going to get through this now.
It's going to get interesting, Andy, because the reporting from today suggests that, already a couple of collectives are operating in this way, and there are some that are teetering close to kind of coming to the same conclusion of like, this is not happening in an efficient manner, and so we're just going to kind of pay it out. They start by paying out like the smaller deals that they're like, this wouldn't be a problem anyway, so we're just going to go ahead but eventually, I mean, if this is the system in place and it comes to find out that dozens of programs around the country are like, it's not operating as it should, we're just going to kind of do what we think is best and kind of roll with it. What's the recourse coming back? Because they've said, hey, you can't do this or else you'll be ruled ineligible. You'll be this, that, and the other. But the NCAA is not holding up its end of the bargain. I predicted it would happen via lawsuit first. I didn't know they would go straight to we're just going to ignore the rules. And because we have to, we tried, and you guys are so incompetent. The NCAA as an organization is so incompetent that the thing that you set up to funnel all of this through is not functional. And the players, some of them don't know how to use it. The software is too confusing. So they tried to submit it, but they gave up trying to submit their deal. Some of the deals do get submitted, but they end up lingering for weeks and weeks and weeks with no response. You don't know if it's approved or if it's denied. You don't have any contact. Like, it's just a mess.
Yeah.
And this is not particularly surprising because all of this was kind of thrown together at the last minute, Andy. That's kind of how it feels.
Right. They had a chance to be a little more prepared, a little more thought out with how they could try to put guardrails on NIL and make it a little more effective, a little bit more by the book, and not have it be so out of control, which, great, noble effort. You want to try to do that? Great. But this was never the effort that was put forth. Like, this commission was doomed to fail from the beginning. From how I can see it, they were never actually given some sort of power. Like, they were the entity that was going to decide, okay, yeah, your NIL deal's good. Yours is not. You need to go back and amend it. You are right. Okay, good to go. But we can't actually make the decision as to whether or not you're ineligible. That's somebody else. Like, then what are we doing here? And what is it? Is it staffing? Is it the software being too slow? Whatever it is, it's not working. And we're however many months in. We're 4 months into this, and we're already having questions about it. It's just...
It sounds like more than questions. It sounds like it was a nice press release to say, hey, this is going to be how we do it. It's NIL Go. It's a software. This is the way we're going to approach these things and get all this filtered. And everybody reads it and goes, makes enough sense. Like, I think you're going to have some lawsuits because I think whatever you deny, there will be players that say, or collectives that say, like, you have no basis for denying this. This is a legitimate NIL deal. This local business wants to have this player as a spokesperson, and who are you to deny their ability to, to earn this NIL funding? Like, I thought that was the way this was going to go. I sort of took for granted that the software they said would work would actually work.
Right.
We're not even to step one of this. We're still at ground zero of being able to get this thing off the ground, and collectives are already going, yeah, whatever. This isn't going to work. We're just going to have to blow through this.
We're done watching the spinning wheel. Like, like seriously, this is still loading. We can't wait around for this.
And you're emboldened to feel that way, I think, when you also know, like, what's going to happen to us. We still don't know how they could enforce what the penalties look like. Like, they say we're going to do X, Y, and Z, but if you can't even get your end of the bargain held up, do we really trust that this is going to be? And now there's going to be more collectives and teams going, no, wait a second. Like, if this is being utilized, it's just like the same as it ever was, Andy. Some teams were breaking the rules when there were rules, and some teams were afraid to skirt the rules because, of the potential for getting popped by the NCAA. But now it's just like we're openly kind of, it was anonymous. We don't know which collective. It said in the story, ACC collective.
Yeah.
So one from the ACC. But like it's above ground almost now. People are emboldened to say, yeah, we're kind of doing this because they don't know what they're doing on their end. So we're just trying to get our athletes, hold up our end of the bargain to our athletes that we are responsible now under the revenue sharing and the way that everything works. Like, we have to get their NIL deals. They came here and entrusted that to us. And so we have to do our due diligence on it. It's just a complete and total mess. And we haven't even gotten into the 76-team NCAA tournament proposal yet.
Oh, wow.
College sports is falling apart.
Is it? I don't know. That one a step too far if you're freaking out about that.
We told you that was coming.
Right, exactly. Well, you can accept that it's coming, but what has irked me the most about the NCAA tournament talk and expanding it to 76 teams, which apparently the reports, according to Ross Dellinger and several others, they are inching closer toward
whatever that means.
No idea. 76 teams. It wouldn't happen for this upcoming tournament for 2026.
Right.
The earliest would be the 2027 tournament. I keep reading lines of stories about folks who are upset about this.
Okay.
One in particular from Awful Announcing today, where the first line is, the NCAA or the executives seem hell-bent on fundamentally changing an event where no one asked for it. Well, I know nobody's asking for it, but is this really a fundamental change? We're changing.
Coaches are asking for it.
Coaches are asking for it. This is 2 days of the tournament that we are changing and nothing else. Like, that's it. That's all.
Yeah.
Like, what do we? It's not a fundamental change in my book.
Your brackets will be okay.
Yeah.
I think as long as we can get ESPN, CBS Sports, Yahoo, all the places you play your bracket challenges to understand, okay, don't make these first rounds be pickable. Just let the round of 64 be where the brackets begin, and we will not have any problems, my bracket-loving friends. And honestly, the only thing that irks me about it, Andy, because I said weeks ago when they announced, it's not looking likely for the upcoming year's tournament because they didn't get that done in time. I said, I would have been ready for it for this year. Whether 72 or 76, I would have been fine with either result. It sounds like 76 is where they're inching. It feels like the hungry caterpillar. Like we're inching closer to it.
How many inches did they go?
How many inches have they traveled? I need to know the inches.
How many inches away or left?
Centimeters.
I don't know.
We got to figure this out.
I don't know.
But here's what bothers me is it's not surprising at all. If I would have predicted, hey, they're going to say 76, how's the breakdown likely to come? I believe it was Dellinger's story that described, like, okay, you're going to have 24 teams basically that would play on those first 2 days. That currently is known as the first four. Currently 8 teams are playing in the first four. You're going to supersize that, add a second site, and it's going to be 24 total teams across 2 days playing their way in, and likely to be 12 conference tournament champions and 12 at-larges that are forced to play in that opening round of 24, which precedes the round of 64.
Yeah. The
way that I would do it for the most symmetry, to reward, to stop stomping on the little guy, honestly, and and it would match for those who complain that too many mediocre teams are sneaking into the tournament, which you and I have talked about. We don't feel that way. More access is better. I'm on board with that. But more access is better doesn't mean you get a trip to the round of 64 automatically. I would cap it that the teams vying for a 16 seed, they do have to play their way in. I would increase that from the current 2 of the 4 16 seeds. Now all 4 of them are up for grabs in an opening round equivalent of the Dayton games, right? And that's 8 teams. The other 16 are all at-larges. And so if you're basically a double-digit seed earning an at-large, you're playing your way into the round of 64. I think that would be something that would really excite me about the tournament, because any team that we could possibly dream of being on the bubble will say, you're in, but you also have to win a game before you're in the round of 64. And I think that's more equitable than making 15 seeds play their way in. Just my 2 cents on it. You can let me know what you think about it, because you're kind of making a face. But I would be in favor of rewarding those kids that won a conference tournament if I can.
And here's the thing. I'm not even speaking for myself here. The vast majority of those teams that are in the 15, 16, and even maybe the 14 range, I think they would welcome the extra game, because that means they get an extra unit. If they have a better chance at playing in another game and getting more money for their school and for their conference that they can bring back from this NCAA tournament. So it's not even my opinion. I think if you ask most of those athletic directors in the mid-majors and the conferences or in the commissioners, they would say, actually, it gives me a better chance to win an NCAA tournament game and therefore get more money for my conference. So I actually do want to play in that playing game. And the argument against it is like, oh, so we're getting rid of conference champions before the tournament even starts. Well, to the people playing in the tournament starts when they start playing. Like that's when it actually starts. It doesn't matter what we think about when the tournament actually starts. They believe that it starts when they start playing. So they will say that they want to have a better shot at that money to bring back to their schools, which is, again, why expansion has been held up in the first place, because nobody wants to bring down the amount of a unit of playing in a single NCAA tournament game per school.
Water that down. If there's more games, it gets watered down. Yeah.
So the TV partners had to commit more money to this in order to make sure that doesn't get diluted. So and that's the thing, like, if you give more of that to the mid-majors, if you give them more of a chance to play in those playing games, well, then there's fewer chances for those at-larges that are mostly coming from the high majors, but there could also be some mid-majors that are in that mix too.
Those teams that are on the 10 and 11 line, they think they can still win the NCAA tournament. Like, realistically, those 15 and 16 seeds aren't likely to do that, to your point, which is why they might welcome that additional unit, that opportunity to win a game against a peer, rather than going in as the winner of that game does get to try to slay Goliath. Like, you're going to get your chance if you win that initial game. I just think it's going to be clunky to have 15s and 16s having to play their way in. It'll be something to get over and get used to. I like the symmetry of, like, the 16 seeds. Yeah, you got to earn it, but everybody else gets in, because 15s do topple 2 seeds with a little bit more frequencies than the 16s beat the 1s. Although,
but here's the thing,
last year it wasn't really the case.
That wasn't the case last year. But here's the thing. I actually believe that if you make this change, it'll be more likely that 15s beat 2s, and it'll be more likely that 16s beat 1s.
I do agree with you on that,
because
we've talked about this
the
before.
Conference champions get crunched together in seed, and that game for the 1s and the 2s is a little bit tougher than it normally would be. And so, I mean, if you want just better games in general, like the 1s and the 2s actually get a bit of a raw deal with this, because they would be facing generally more so a better team than they would have been facing earlier. And so it's worse for them. And maybe the mid-majors come back and say, well, that's a lot of games too, but we want to take our shot. Bottom line, you're getting better games in those 16s and 1s. Like, we think about the 16-1 games as just laughers. We look at the 24-point spreads. We're like, I don't need to watch that. That'll just be on in the background.
We live for, like, every 4 years when there's one that's close. You know what I mean? But I think part of what kind of made me a little bit disillusioned in last year's tournament was just how brutal the first round was. You didn't have very many of those compelling games. And to your point, Like when now you suddenly expand the field and force teams that would have been teetering toward like a 13 seed, which are some pretty good basketball schools, and now they're playing as a 15 and knocking off a fellow 15, and now they're working their way against that too. Inherently, that should mean better competition. And it is kind of awkward that you have Selection Sunday and we're waiting, to be able to really feel the tournament until Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesday are going to be lit now. It's going to be, and so like I said, I'm in on it. It took me a while to come around on it, but we've talked enough about it on the big show that I am in. Give me 76. I am cool with it. I do think I'm not quite as far along as you are in terms of the equality, the equity of allowing the at-larges who are in a watered-down field to avoid at first opening round game. I think that adds a little bit of fairness to it. We're like, okay, all of you guys were kind of in the same bucket. We didn't really know which one deserved the 9 seed and which one deserved to have to play in Dayton. Yeah. And now you're all just having to play a game. I'm good with that, but it's not going to go that way. They're going to have 12 and 12 at-larges, 12 conference tournament champions that are playing on Tuesday and Wednesday, and it's still going to be good basketball. So I'm going to ultimately be fine with it.
And if you think about it, that also means that the at-large play-ins would probably be a seed line lower as well. So you might see them, maybe one or two of them slide into the 13 spot. And therefore, if they win that game, then they get a harder team in a 4 or a 5 or something like that. So even if you're in that realm of just barely making the tournament, the road is actually tougher from the bubble there as opposed to what it is now if you're in that playing game and you maybe get a seed that's a little more favorable to you. So, and look, here's the thing. I can understand the argument of, well, I don't want them to expand again because then in 10 more years, they're going to want to expand to 80 or 96 or something like that. I can understand that. I don't want to go past 76. That can be the cut.
It'll fundamentally change it. Yeah. This is the limit. This is all I got. This all I can give you.
A reasonable amount of growth for how the game has grown over the last few decades to the point where you can stop here and be just fine. And if you are worried about the slippery slope of, well, they're just going to keep expanding, then I understand that part of it. But the argument
I'm a little bit, but whatever. It's going to take
and that's fine.
Years to get to that point. Like 2011 was the first instance of the 68, right? Where they expanded it beyond 64. I think you're
right. Yeah, 2010, 2011, I think. Yeah.
It's been 15 years, and this is a larger change than that one. We've got a good 20, 25 years, I think, after this to say, all right, let's settle in. This is the way it's going to look. Let's not just revisit this every couple of years, which historically there's precedent. They haven't. Like we said, it's been since 2011 since they had to expand it.
Call or text us with your thoughts on the NCAA tournament expansion. Potentially, it's inching toward a reality, whatever that might mean, according to the reports today. Call or text us here at 875-KTGR here on The Big Show if you want to weigh in on that. Would you like 76 teams in the NCAA tournament? Would you not? But plenty of change in college sports. Is it too much? You can tell us your thoughts on that, too, at 875-KTGR. We have our top 5, bottom 5 NFL teams ready to go. We'll share our bottom 5 coming up next after 4 weeks, who is already down in the cellar with no hope at all. We'll get to that after this on The Big Show.
Miss the latest edition of The Big Show? Catch up on demand with a full show podcast on the KTGR app. Download it now, wherever you get your apps.
Discover, explore, and soak in the views of the incredible landscapes that make up the last frontier, Alaska. Experience the diverse culture and rich history as we cruise the Pacific coast and explore the wilds of Denali, Glacier Bay, and beyond. And boy, do we have some good news. There are currently still seats available, but don't wait, as you only have until October 3rd to book this once-in-a-lifetime trip. To RSVP and learn more, go to ZimmerCommunications.com today.
Everyone has their go-to game day outfit. Maybe it's a comfy black and gold hoodie or that old hat you wear because it still hasn't been to a losing game. Hi, this is Sophie Cunningham, and if you really want to stand out on game day, talk to the team at Betts Jewelers in downtown Columbia. Rock your favorite team's colors with a beautifully designed, one-of-a-kind custom piece of jewelry from Betts Jewelers in downtown Columbia, our hometown jeweler. MIZBETZ.
These beautiful moments begin at Betts. Begin at Betts.
Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Free-for-All RV Road Warriors, your best blast of Branson just turned into a bad day bummer. You ran out of gas, blew a tire, killed your battery, are sitting sideways in a ditch, and managed to lock yourselves out. Ouch. Hey, it could happen. And for the save, you call I-70 Towing. They're Mid-Missouri's go-to crew for roadside assistance, too. Fuel, tires, batteries, locks, winching, you name it. When your world seems to have been wrecked, call the team they hope you never have to meet. I-70towing.com. Now serving Boonville. Winching.
I'm Michael Agnew with API Project Fitness. At API, we're dedicated to helping you reach your fitness goals with workouts that are motivating, challenging, and effective. Our group classes are high energy and designed to maximize your time with efficient movements and smooth flow. There are real results here to find, whether you're just starting out or ready to push it to the next level. API is where hard work meets progress. Everyone needs a fitness routine. Let us be yours. Sign up today for a free trial at apiprojectfitness.com.
From telling bedtime stories and doing late night homework to driving them to college and sliding them a few $100 when they get there, parents will do just about anything for their children. At Boone Hospital Wound Healing Center, people come from miles around knowing that their staff of doctors, nurses, and therapists will do anything to help heal their wounds. Wait, don't amputate. Visit boone.health to learn more.
Real healing starts here. Boone Hospital, Boone Healing Center.
Hungry for the best wings, burgers, and tacos in Central Missouri? Head to JQ's on High in the historic east side of downtown Jefferson City. With vegetarian and gluten-free options, there's something for everyone. And the patio's open for summer. Planning an event? Let JQ's bring the flavor with catering and our full-service food truck. Find us on Facebook at jqsonhigh.com or email us at jqsonhigh@gmail.com with any questions. JQ's on High. Real food, real people, real good.
Macadoodles does selection like nobody else. If you're looking for ingredients to make the perfect new drink, look no further. Why settle for boring? Macadoodles has you covered. With Columbia's widest variety of beer, wine, and spirits, you're sure to find something new and exciting when you shop with Macadoodles. Come experience the difference in selection at Macadoodles today. Macadoodles delivers world-class customer service and unmatched selection at unbeatable prices. Who does selection like nobody else? Macadoodles does.
Your daily fix of local sports lives here. This is The Big Show on KTGR.
Is there too much change in college sports? You can answer that question with a call or a text here at 875-KTGR here on The Big Show with Andy and Brenden. I mean, it's just between potential NCAA tournament expansion, which I don't think is as much of a change what they're proposing here, but you can tell me if you disagree. The fact that there's private equity possible for some of these conferences, like the Big Ten.
The Big Ten, yeah. What the heck is going on there? $2 billion?
$2 billion.
Are they just going to be beholden to like these Wall Street nerds that are telling them what they got to do to maximize that? Like, it's a slippery slope on that stuff too. It
really is.
It all feels very dicey.
And look, if that is just it, my main question, and Matt Brown, who has covered college football for a while, and he has his own newsletter now and does a really great job of it. His main question would be like, okay, $2 billion. That's a great cash infusion. What's it for?
Right.
What's
the point?
Right. And what's the end game with all of this? Because if you're just using that money to stay afloat and say, well, we got to pay the players, it's a lot of money. Well, then that's not a very good answer, because that's not going to give the return on investment that those private equity folks, those PC investors are trying to pour into your sport, because they're going to expect something back. And if they're not getting that type of return back, well, then things can get very dicey. And several other sports entities outside of collegiate athletics have gone this route, and not all of the investors have been all that legit either. Like, as far as, having the type of money to pay in these situations. Probably read between the lines on that. Like, it
seems so obvious that it's a bad idea, and yet it keeps happening in almost every single industry.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's beyond my purview, but I don't like it. I'm not excited about it.
Yeah. For a conference like the Big Ten to seriously consider it is pretty troubling. So
Mm-hmm.
that has changed that I would not like to see, but what changes would you like to see? Call or text us at 875-5847 here on the Big Show if you want to discuss any of that. In the meantime, it is, I think after week 4 is a pretty good indicator of where teams at least are starting at, as far as who's good, who's bad, and who's still in this thing, who maybe still has hope, and who just doesn't at this point. And I could think of 5 teams already that just don't have a whole lot of hope.
The bottom 5 feels a lot easier to do
it really
at this
does.
point already.
Top 5, bottom 5 NFL teams. We're going to begin with the bottom 5 here. You can text us your lists at 875-KTGR, who you would have in the top 5, bottom 5 of the league. Do you want to start with the 28 to 32 or go up from the very bottom?
Let's start with the very worst, I think, is the easiest way to organize it.
Yeah.
And kind of go from there. I nominate the Saints as the worst team in the NFL.
Oh, okay. That's a very good nominee.
What do you think?
I mean,
can you beat me? Do you have one worse? There might be one worse.
I think I do. I think I have the Titans as even worse.
Convince me. Let's go head to head on this.
While it might be picking at straws, it might be very slim margins here. At least the Saints have been a little more plucky in their margins of defeat so far. Like they covered against the Bills. They were at least 2 touchdown underdogs in that one. They lost by 12. They covered there.
Yeah.
Obviously blown out by the Seahawks. That didn't go as well. Only lost to the 49ers by 5. Yeah. That was before. The Niners had a few injuries then. I guess Mac Jones was still playing.
Jones did start that game. Okay. Mac Jones did, but whatever.
There, and then lost by 7 to the Cardinals at home. Couple 1-score games and one against the Bills, who are a juggernaut type of team. Maybe haven't quite played just yet, but they covered. And so that's what I kind of looked at there. The Titans, man.
Meanwhile,
0-3 versus 0-3 this past week, and one of them won 26-0. What does that tell you?
Yeah, it tells you the team that lost might be the worst team in the NFL.
So that's where I'm at.
They lost to the Colts by 3 touchdowns, Rams by 2 touchdowns, Broncos by 8 points. They've gotten worse every single week. They've gone from 8 to 14 to 21 to 26 in the differential. Brian Callahan gets worse and worse by the day. Did you see him talking about this week how Cam Ward is learning that his words carry weight in this league, and that's one of those things he's learning, as though Cam Ward has said anything out of bounds or out of line, which I think just a couple of days ago we were praising Cam Ward for basically telling it like it is.
Yeah.
And I'm sure your head coach doesn't like that because Cam Ward's words were ass, and they are. But Callahan said his words carry weight, and this, again, it's Deshaun Foster of UCLA. That's Brian Callahan. Callahan will be fired. He will not be coaching the Tennessee Titans next year. That is a promise. And he's terrible. And I just realized I opened the show today by talking about my fantasy football pickup, Taysom Hill. You know what, Titans? The Saints have Taysom Hill. You do not. You've convinced me, Andy. The Titans are the worst team in the NFL, number 32 in our bottom 5.
I think Taysom Hill did more convincing than I ever could.
I kind of forgot about the Taysom factor.
But hey, at least we came into some agreement there. So Titans worst team in the NFL, followed by the Saints at number 31. Okay, so who is third worst?
We agree with that, though. We're in alignment there because we could nominate the Jets. We could scrub the seeds like they do in the NCAA tournament bracket. Do we scrub the seeds on Saints versus Jets? Both are 0-4.
That's the thing with the Jets for me is that this isn't a mark of them being a better team, obviously, because they still lost the games, but they shouldn't have lost at least a couple of the games that they've lost.
They should be 2-2.
They should be.
For real.
That's the type of team that they're at least composed as. They've got talent. They've got
I like Justin Fields,
right?
man.
I want Justin Fields to succeed there and eventually get
things
going.
I might take Jets this week. Okay. They're playing the Cowboys.
Right.
Jets plus 2.5, I believe, is the spread there.
Never know. Could be a lot of points scored there. So we'll see. But that was kind of my reasoning with delineating there the Jets aside from those other 0-4 teams.
And the Saints don't have a quarterback right now that I think they can reach. I'm legitimately thinking Taysom Hill could take snaps at quarterback. That's how bad it's been. Spencer Rattler, Tyler Shuck, that they drafted hasn't played. Jake Hayner, shout out producer Chris. They just don't have it right now. So I'll lean in that direction. Are the Jets 30th for sure?
I have a different team at number 30.
Okay,
actually.
Worse than the Jets.
Yeah. I have the Browns at number 30.
Okay. Talk to me.
Yeah.
They've won a game, but otherwise, I'm not really. They beat the Packers. They beat the team that we were trying to crown as the NFC champion a couple of weeks ago.
Not a bad team, yeah.
But talk to me about that.
Why
the Browns?
What offensively are you excited about?
Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's about it.
Right.
The kid that didn't get drafted because of some legal concerns, like they're picking up all the troubled young men. Isaiah Bond, I believe, was he a Texas wide receiver?
Yeah, he was first at Alabama and then went to Texas. And yep, they're right.
He didn't get drafted, but was cleared by the NFL, and the Browns scooped him up immediately. And I believe he is starting this week. Like they are scraping the bottom of the barrel. Dylan Gabriel taking over for Joe Flacco at quarterback. Shedeur Sanders is pantomiming his answers to questions in the aftermath of that.
I almost dinged him just for that. Like, if that's the type of team you are.
If I may, and I had to argue with people about this today on Twitter, it's no different, in my opinion, than when we debated Colin Kaepernick and we debated Tim Tebow. All these guys who their talent level is like backup quarterback. That's what we believe them to be in like a talent sphere. But there is an outsized media profile. The reason doesn't matter. I'm not making a comparison to say, well, Colin Kaepernick was taking a stand for something. It truly doesn't matter to NFL teams. What's your talent level? How big of a headache are you? Cross those with your formula and figure out if you're worth it or not. And Shedeur Sanders was worth it to only the dysfunction of the Browns, who have gone through so many quarterbacks that they've run out of space on that jersey.
Yeah.
The fan who's got the jersey of all the quarterbacks they've gone through. That's the only reason Shedeur was drafted, because the Browns, they drafted two of them in the same year. They're like, we're trying to get us a quarterback. And so 31 other teams said no thanks because of probably stuff like this, Andy. Shedeur Sanders, fair or unfair, has a media profile that is outsized compared to his talent level and his role on the team. And that's a headache for the organization. But the Browns are in such dysfunction over the years that it's like, whatever. We'll just deal with it because maybe he does prove to be a pretty good player. So, like, I'm with you. I don't want to take away the win over the Packers, but otherwise, there's not a lot to argue for.
Yeah, right at this point, I would still say, even with their records being what they are, I would still predict the Jets to finish the season with more wins than the Browns, ultimately. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but
I would have to look at their schedule. But the Browns defense feels like it's
a solid unit. Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for? It's a little squirrely in the way that there's going to be a couple of games throughout the year where they shut down good offenses.
Yeah.
And like the Ravens ran all over them. So it didn't happen there. But the Packers have a pretty solid offense. It's maybe not clicking on all cylinders, but that was a 13-10 win. And so I'm not gonna really. And I just told you I think the Jets win this week over Dallas. So yeah, I'll go. We'll do it. Browns 30. And then 29 can be the Jets. Are we good with that?
Yeah.
Or do you have another team? You're trying to move the 0-4 Jets up?
No, the Jets
higher?
I have at 29. That's where I settled them in.
So now where we get down to the nitty gritty, one team is going to catch our ire and be part of this bottom five, and everybody else is off the hook for now. Let's hear some nominees. Who should we nominate for this potential spot?
There are plenty of 1 and 3 teams to choose from here.
In the AFC, we got the Raiders, we got the Texans, we got the Ravens.
Yeah, man.
We've got the Dolphins in the American Football Conference.
Yeah.
NFC is the Giants, the Panthers, and those are the only 1 and 3s from the NFC. Dallas is 1, 2, and 1.
Mine is the Dolphins, because I've already I've
written them
checked out on them. They should be completely off the board when it comes to playoff
and losing
contention.
Tyreek Hill doesn't help their cause there.
No, and they're not getting any healthier anytime soon on the defensive side of the ball. So I'm out on them. I was out on them much earlier. They were further down the list, but then when they finally won a game, okay, fine, you can come up.
And the Texans beat one of these bad teams soundly. The Texans are not in that category. I'm not going to even play with your emotions to pretend that they are. They're going to win 7 or 8 games.
They're not worse than the Dolphins this year.
The Texans, I'd have to look at their schedule, but they feel like an 8-9 or a 9-8. And in that division, probably even better than that. They could still sneak into the playoffs, and I wouldn't be surprised. That's not happening for the Dolphins. It's just not. They can't. They are a lost team right now. And like we talked about with that win over the Jets, it was kind of like a barely win that they probably should have played better in than they did. And so I would nominate the Panthers.
Yeah, that's a fair contributor.
At least if we're going to scrub some seeds. I mean, they lost to the Patriots in a game that it was like the way that they lost is like a give-up game. But those NFC South teams are weird because the week before that, the Panthers beat the Falcons 30-0. And so I don't know. I'm not ready to
about that. That's
I don't know either.
It's a weird one to try and square. But
hey, I have good news.
Yeah.
The Panthers play the Dolphins this weekend. So I think we go with the Dolphins. We go with the Dolphins for now, but let's try to make a note.
I think the Panthers win that game, honestly.
Yeah,
if I had predicted today, what's the spread?
I think the Panthers are underdogs, but they're a squirrely underdog. I've got Bryce Young in a fantasy lineup this weekend, and I'm not feeling great about it, but a lot of week 5 buys for quarterbacks. Let's make sure we circle back to that for Play Fade Eliminate. It's just a weird week. So I'll make a note. We're not going to do another revival just yet. We kind of space these out when we do our top 5, bottom 5. But next week, if we have to amend it and move the Dolphins out, if they're able to beat the Panthers, maybe we do it that way. But largely, I think we have the correct list here because those 5 teams, they're utterless at this point. They're not going to make it this year.
Yeah, there's no playoff hope, and you're already packing it in and trying to say, okay, scrape together a few wins, get some young guys some confidence, things like that. In the case of the Titans, just fire the coach, man. Just move on.
Do it.
Do
it now.
Might not even need to wait until the end of the season. But yeah, it's something that is not very hopeful for any of those teams. But if you disagree, tell us. 573-875-KTGR. Who are your bottom 5 NFL teams to this point? We'll have our top 5 revealed at 5:05, so don't miss that. In the meantime, under the bus, didn't get to this yesterday, but the Jackson County executive and former Royal Frank White recalled resoundingly. We'll get to that and under the bus after this.
Now, your local sports center update on your total sports station, KTGR.
Good afternoon. I'm Andy Humphrey. This Sports Center update is with Lee's Tire Company. If it's round and rubber, Lee sells it. Go to leestirecompany.com. Full practice for everyone on the Chiefs active roster except for cornerback Christian Fulton, as he has missed the last couple of games with an injury for the Chiefs. He was a limited participant in practice today. Still got some work in. Full practice for Mike Dana, who has also missed the last couple of Chiefs games due to an injury. The Chiefs get an extra day to prepare for their Monday Night Football game against the Jaguars next week over in Jacksonville. That'll kick off at 7:15. Chiefs trying to get above 500 for the first time this season. 2 Mizzou football players named to midseason watch lists for National College Football Awards recognized by the Maxwell Club. Quarterback Bo Perbula named to the midseason watch list for the Maxwell Award, which is given out by that club to who they judge to be the best all-around player in college football. And the Bednarik Award watch list now includes linebacker Josiah Trotter. That award goes to the best defensive player in all of college football. Your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast is with Steve's Pest Control. The fall invasion is here. Call Steve and the pros at Steve's Pest Control today to help stop the fall pests from invading your home. Go online to stevespestcontrol.com.
I'm ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hafner. I'm tracking mostly clear skies, a temperature around 65 tonight. Tomorrow we'll see more sunshine. It's hot as temperatures get into the upper 80s to around 90 degrees. We'll have a warm weekend with sunshine and highs in the mid to upper 80s. Rain chances look to hold off until Monday night or Tuesday. I'm ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hafner, and that's your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast on your total sports station, KTGR.
All the hard hits.
He's under pressure, and down he goes. Inside the 20-yard line.
All the jaw-dropping moments.
Makes a man miss. 30, 20, near sideline, 10, 5, touchdown.
KTGR is your home for the high school football game of the week.
Oh my goodness! Join us this weekend as the Hickman Cupies visit the Jefferson City Jays.
Coverage starts with high school kickoff Friday night at 6 on Mid-Missouri's Total Sports Station, KTGR.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Saving money on storage solutions now at Menards. Keep your garage and workspace organized with Rubbermaid. Fast Track is durable and easy to install and adjust with everything you need to maximize your space. Fast Track garage storage systems make it easy to use wall space to hang tools and equipment. Keep your space organized with Rubbermaid Fast Track. And view the weekly flyer for all of our great deals happening this week on Menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
Always ahead of the curve? Seem to know what's going to happen? Like a prophet? Prove it, Nostradamus, with Profit Shares. Predict the outcome of every black and gold game or whoever your favorite team is. It's all at Profit Shares, and it doesn't cost a thing to play. Make your predictions risk-free and win prizes like gift cards to Amazon, Chick-fil-A, and other favorites. Or donate your winnings to charities. Contests are open now. Play for free at ProfitShares.com. PROPHET shares.com. On game day, every needs a. And every tailgate needs Kingsford charcoal. And a match. Whatever lot you're in, whatever you're grilling up for your fellow Tiger tailgaters, Kingsford charcoal is the official charcoal of Missouri football. Without it, you're just standing around in a parking lot. Since 1920, Kingsford has been proud to fire up your tailgates with friends and family. Kingsford.com. Let's talk numbers, because if you're a fan of stats, you'll want to hear this. Flight by Yuengling has just 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's light beer that actually brings some game day flavor. Whether you're at the tailgate or watching from the couch, Flight delivers that crisp, refreshing taste without the extra baggage. Brewed by the oldest brewery in America, so you know it's legit. Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. DG Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
From elegant weddings to corporate lunches with flavor and flair, Courtyard by Marriott Columbia brings the party and the pros. It's the home of Main Event Catering. And with every event, you'll get an award-winning chef, full banquet staff, and drop-and-go options for any size crowd. And the event center holds up 300 guests with 8 flexible rooms. If you need help, there's a Marriott certified wedding coordinator on staff too. Book now by calling 573-443-8000.
The best local sports talk around on your ride home. You've got The Big Show on KTGR.
This was official Tuesday night and didn't get to it yesterday, but notable, certainly for those who are following the stadium situation in Kansas City with the Chiefs and the Royals. Frank White ousted as Jackson County executive. They had a recall vote on Tuesday night, and it was resounding. 85-15 margin on the recall vote for Frank White. Now, it's easy here on the sports show to think, oh, it's because of the stadiums. Not really. It kind of started before then. I think it's mostly due to the fact that voters were upset about their property valuations and the taxes that are involved in that. And there were some issues. And believe 2019 and 2023 through a couple of cycles there, and White taking a lot of heat for that. But notably, when the Chiefs and Royals came out with their proposal to extend that sales tax in Jackson County, White was against it and campaigned against it. Eventually, it got voted down, and maybe there were some folks that thought, oh, that makes me dislike Frank White even more. But I think most folks are more upset with just the fact that their taxes went up and probably shouldn't have. And that's why he was the figurehead of the legislature in Jackson County, of course, in that sense. And that's why we have the result today that we have.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a lot to unpack, but you're right. Like, I think people's reaction is generally just going to be like, oh, I associate him with he's the guy that made the taxes do XYZ. All right, then that's how I feel about that situation.
Well, and he's also like one of the greatest Royals ever. The number's retired, the number 20. And I think folks have maybe taken it a little too far because there have been some fans like, unretire his number. Like, no,
oh, wow.
don't do that.
Give his number to the worst player on the team.
Right. No, don't do that. It's even though he may have failed in politics, it shouldn't diminish the impact that he had on the Royals as a player and a coach and in the front office. He was a very meaningful figure to that franchise and still is. But yeah, for now, with the political career likely over, it's under the bus to Frank White. And what it means for the stadium deals, I don't know. I mean, still a lot of uncertainty. That vote on the tax was a year and a half ago now. It was April of 2024, and we are no closer to any kind of resolution on this. So who knows? Who knows on that front? Also, under the bus to Ben McDonald. We kind of threw him under the bus yesterday as we learned in real time his comments on the NHL broadcast that ESPN was trying to feature during the baseball playoffs. Ben McDonald was on the Padres Cubs, right? Yeah, that's the game he's on. And Kevin Brown was reading the promo, and he tried to bring Ben McDonald in and say, hey, you're going to be watching? And he said, there's zero chance I'm going to be watching that. He did not toe the company line on trying to promote all of the ESPN properties. Well, John Buccigross had a response to this on Twitter, and he retweeted the awful announcing post and essentially said it with this comment to Ben McDonald, and said, well, zero is also how many postseason innings Ben McDonald pitched in his MLB career. Oh no. Dig back. Ben.
I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You kind of walked right into that one, you know?
Yeah. This can only end, I believe, with Ben McDonald making an appearance on one of the ESPN hockey broadcasts, like in the studio, do some sort of like.
I don't know that's a good idea.
Do it. It'd be so much fun. I'm sure he would play around with it too.
I don't know. He had every chance to play around with it during this moment where the play-by-play man said, well, of course you'll be tuned in because it's on ESPN. And he said, no, I won't. There's zero chance. Like, he gave him every chance to get out of it without, unscathed. He could have been unscathed. And then he just kept stepping in it. Yeah, I wouldn't put him on. I wouldn't trust him to do it because I just don't think it's going to. I'm not convinced he will be able to play. Like, you got to play the game a little bit. You don't like hockey, but you pretend to for 2 seconds, and then the promo's over, and you're back to announcing the baseball game. That's all he had to do. But he didn't.
I guess one can dream. I think they might try, but Buccigross clearly irked by Ben McDonald, or at least trying to poke fun and again remind folks hockey's back. Be sure to watch on your channels and things of that nature. It is the bye week for Mizzou, but they're not shying away from the national spotlight. Still getting that attention, as are Bo Prabula and Josiah Trotter, both of them named to midseason watch lists for national awards from the Maxwell Club Maxwell Award watch list, now including Prabula after his play through 5 weeks. That's the list for the, most outstanding player in college football, according to that particular voting group. I know there's the Heisman and everything like that, but that voting group also hands out their award, the Maxwell Award, and that's a huge honor also. And Josiah Trotter added to the watch list for the Bednarik Award, which goes to the top defensive player, also from the Maxwell Club. Can't wait to see those two continue to climb up the ranks.
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of awards that these Mizzou guys could end up in the running for. I was checking on the Maxwell to see, like, okay, what's the breakdown there? Because we know that with Heisman, it really has defaulted in most years to be a quarterback award. Genty won the Maxwell last year, though.
Yeah.
And so not necessarily always a quarterback, but the previous 3 winners were. So, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see the way that goes. But obviously, Bo continues to play like he's playing. Mizzou continues to win games like they're winning. He's going to be in a lot of different conversations like that one.
And I believe Ahmad Hardy started the season on the Maxwell
already
Award
on the list.
watch list.
Yeah.
I wonder if they keep him on for the midseason list. I'm not sure, but at least
I can promise you he will not be leaving that list anytime soon.
I mean, I don't know what the full list looks like, but I'm sure he's still on there. If he was on in the preseason, there's no reason to take him off anymore. All right, our top 5 teams in the NFL, according to us here on the Big Show. 505, we'll discuss them, and you can text us your top 5 NFL teams as well, and text us your fantasy football questions for Play Fade Eliminated 525.
Discover, explore, and soak in the views of the incredible landscapes that make up the last frontier, Alaska. Experience the diverse culture and rich history as we cruise the Pacific coast and explore the wilds of Denali, Glacier Bay, and beyond. And boy, do we have some good news. There are currently still seats available, but don't wait, as you only have until October 3rd to book this once-in-a-lifetime trip. To RSVP and learn more, go to ZimmerCommunications.com today.
This is Kim with Hearing Aid Consultants. For some, the thought of wearing a hearing device makes them feel old. In reality, improved hearing helps prevent accelerated aging. Untreated hearing loss not only can decrease your lifespan, but it can also lead to a faster decline in cognitive abilities and increase the likelihood of dementia. Come see us at Hearing Aid Consultants for your free hearing evaluation today. Hearing Aid Consultants in Allmake Repair Lab in Jefferson City. We are here for you today so you can hear tomorrow. HearingAidConsultants.com.
Hey, it's Molly from Billiards, and we're gearing up for football, y'all.
Molly, football's already going. Take 2.
Guess it's time to put on my cuddle duds.
Molly, that's not till November. Take 3.
Well, I guess we'll talk about the pumpkin spice menu items at Billiards.
Molly, at last check, we have nothing on the menu with pumpkin spice. Take 4, and you hate it.
When some things feel wrong, Billiards just feels right.
Yep, that'll work.
Looking on down for burgers and beer. Billiards on Broadway.
Oops, don't know if I saved that.
Josh!
Winter's on the way, so now's the time to plan your tree pruning. Here's why. In winter, trees are dormant, which means there's less risk of disease. Plus, without all those leaves, it's way easier to see exactly what needs trimming. The educated, licensed, insured, and experienced crew at Advanced Tree Solutions knows how to protect your trees and your wallet. But spots are filling fast, so schedule your winter pruning today at AdvancedTreeSolutionsLLC.com. Advanced Tree Solutions, LLC. Your tree's best friend.
KTGR AM Columbia, KTGR FM Fulton Columbia, K286CL Columbia, Mid-Missouri's total sports station. KTGR Sports Center.
I'm Nick DeLuca. 3 win-or-go-home games today in the Major League Baseball postseason. Wrapping up the wild card series, the Tigers punch their ticket to the DS. They take down the Guardians 6-3 in Cleveland this afternoon. Dylan Dingler with a go-ahead solo homer in the top of the 6th inning. That turned out to be a big blow. Tigers would add on 4 runs in the 7th. Winsell Perez with a 2-run single. Spencer Torkelson and Riley Green with RBI singles as well. Guardians rally in the bottom of the 8th inning, not enough, and the Tigers advance to take on Seattle in the division series. The Cubs and the Padres at Wrigley. It's 2-0 Chicago in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Chicago getting to Yu Darvish in the 2nd. He's done after 1+, allowed the 2 earned with 4 hits. Pete Crow Armstrong with an RBI single. Dansby Swanson with a bases-loaded walk to add on, but the Padres limiting the damage in that one. The game on ESPN TV, ESPN radio affiliates, and the ESPN app.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Friday as Jackson Dart and the New York Giants head to New Orleans. I'll tell you what Dart will need to improve on in his 2nd start ever. It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
From Faro, 15 to the 10, to the house, push, back to the wall, and it's got her. And Arrowhead, touchdown, Kansas City. To your speakers. This is the big show, baby. Get fresh takes on the biggest sports stories in mid-Missouri. Right now, this is the Big Show with Andy and Brenden on KTGR.
Got through our bottom 5 NFL teams last hour on the Big Show. Be a little bit more exciting to talk about the good teams, the teams worthy of being at the top. And also, when we do that, coming up in just a few minutes, we got a great comment in on YouTube that mentioned a candidate for the bottom 5 that I wanna nominate and revisit and see if we might have made a mistake. We'll do that coming up in a few minutes as we give you our top 5. You can let us know yours at 573-875-KTGR. And you can also chime in on YouTube, youtube.com/@KTGR Sports. At 525, we'll keep with the football theme by going into the fantasy football realm with Play, Fade, Eliminate. Let us know which fantasy football lineup decisions you are facing with Thursday Night Football coming up later on tonight. 573-875-KTGR to call or text. But first, it's 5 o'clock.
It's time for the top 5 at 5 on The Big Show. Number 1.
If you want to trade away for curtain number 1, you can have curtain 1.
Again, I don't know how newsworthy it is, but it made the rounds again today. NCAA tournament expansion is, quote, inching closer, end quote, to being a reality. It's not going to happen for this season. The earliest it could happen would be for the 2027 tournament. But according to the reports, and Ross Dellinger all over it for Yahoo and On3, saying that it would be 76 teams, which means you're adding 8 games to the tournament, and they would all be added to Tuesday and Wednesday, which means now instead of a first 4, you've got 12 playing games to add to the start of the tournament. And look, it's not a fundamental change. People are saying, this is going to ruin it. No, it's not. It's only going to change 2 days of the tournament. Everything else is going to stay the same. And guess what? You're more likely to watch Tuesday and Wednesday now with there being more games. And I think also with how the seeds will work out, we are more likely to see 16s beat 1s and 15s beat 2s with this setup, if you ask me.
Number 2.
Number 2, your timing is impeccable.
Chiefs trying to get back over 500. That would be for the first time this season as they take on the Jaguars for Monday Night Football next week. Good to see most everybody get a full bill of practice in. Only guy limited was Christian Fulton trying to come back from his injury. That's kept him out the last couple of weeks. But it looks like if things trend well in the right direction, that the Chiefs could get Mike Dana back on their defensive line. Chiefs take on the Jaguars on Monday Night Football at 7:15 on Monday. Do the Chiefs make our top 5 in the NFL? We'll get to that here in just a few minutes.
Number 3.
Jackson County voters recalled Frank White, the executive on top of Jackson County government. And he was obviously a figurehead for the whole Chiefs and Royals stadium thing when he came out against it when the Chiefs and Royals presented their plan for the sales tax extension last year. And maybe folks were irked by that. I think more folks, though, were irked by the tax evaluations or the property evaluations of certain properties in Jackson County 2019, 2023, and that raised everybody's taxes. That was maybe more what folks were mad about. But look, Frank White is still a great Royal. That doesn't change.
Number 4.
Oh, shanked it.
Sophie Cunningham weighing in on Kathy Engelbert, kind of echoing the thoughts of Nafisa Collier. And it seems that there's a lot of traction behind maybe ousting the WNBA commissioner. I don't know if it'll actually happen, but Sophie's in on it now, too.
Number 5.
What is the 5? fingers. Say to the face, slap.
And games three today for the wild card series. Love it.
That's the Big Show's Top 5 at 5 on KTGR.
Call or text us here at 875-KTGR. One already went final. The Tigers get it done against the Guardians. That appeared to be a pretty back-and-forth game today, but the Tigers finally pulled away late in that one to get the victory on the road and advance to face the Mariners. And then later tonight, we get Red Sox-Yankees for winner-take-all to go to the next round. When's the last time we saw that? That's been a while, at least. Probably since the 05, was it? No, 04
was
04
the
was
year that Boston broke the curse, and that ALCS that they were down 3-0 came all the way back. I don't know that there's been a one that comes to mind since then, but I'll get that answer for you. But yeah, obviously that's the capper of the day. I know that those teams, the Yankees were not supposed to be here, right? They weren't supposed to be playing in this round, but they are, and now it's win or go home against their biggest rival. So that's what we love about October, getting moments like that.
You can hear it tonight right here on KTGR. Coverage starts at 6:30 for Red Sox Yankees from the Bronx. So be sure to tune in for that right here on KTGR as that gets set to get underway. And then right now, Padres and Cubs with how that's going with that game 3. Not surprising that the Dodgers were the only team that swept their series. Talent-wise, obviously, a mismatch there. Reds could not hold down that Dodger offense for long. And my gosh, Yamamoto looked like nails in that game.
He was tough.
I mean,
yeah, he was tough.
That is a pitch arsenal that is hard to deal with. And so I don't know. We'll see. And I still don't quite believe that the Dodgers will represent the NL. I know they have the talent and everything, but at least I'll be rooting for other teams to do it. I think the Phillies can get it done against them in the LDS.
Yeah, I now think after seeing, and realizing the Phillies versus the Dodgers, I think that winner extends and gets to the World Series to beat whatever NL Central team. And I'm kind of counting the Cubs over the Padres already.
Yeah.
And then it'll be Cubs Brewers. I think that the team that wins the Dodgers Phillies series has the edge there.
All right. Well, we'll see how it shakes out as the wild card series ends today and the LDS will begin this weekend. We'll bring you more of that coverage this weekend as well from ESPN Radio right here on KTGR. 875-5847 if you want to call or text us here. If you want to weigh in on the top 5 NFL teams. Did the bottom 5 earlier, and we had a pretty good consensus. Titans at the bottom, then Saints, then we went Browns after that, and then Jets and Dolphins, with the Panthers maybe a chance to play themselves in if they lose to the Dolphins this weekend.
And we're going to give our top 5 teams here coming up in a second, but I want to address this comment from James on YouTube. He gave us his bottom 5, and he included the Titans, the Saints, the Jets. Those were similar to ours. He put the Raiders in there. It's a 1-3 team. So I don't think it's, outside the bounds. He also included a 2-2 team, the Bengals. And
man,
if you're only watching the last couple of weeks, that's the worst team in football. It's not even close. And they're without Joe Burrow right now, but their last 2 results, 48-10 to the Vikings and 28-3 to the Broncos. They won the first game over a team that's on our list, the Browns, but it was a 17-16 win with Joe Burrow. And then they beat the Jaguars. Somehow Jake Browning looked competent enough in that game to pull it off after Burrow got hurt. Last 2 weeks, though, for Cincinnati, I kind of think James has a point. I would, if they played tomorrow, the Dolphins and the Bengals, I think I'm taking the Dolphins.
Man. It's just so here's the thing. They will not have a chance to try and rise up from what their record is right now because they get the Lions, they're at the Packers, and then they host the Steelers. Steelers win that game. They'll be 2-5 before we know it. So
I think they will be. Yes.
So eventually they will strongly be considered. I mean, they're strongly being considered now, but I think you have a legitimate case to put them in after that stretch if in fact it goes the way that we think.
I'll be honest, when we did our list, I was just looking at it and going, okay, who are the teams with losing records? And we'll start with that. And I didn't occur to me to look at a team that's 2-2 because I kind of forgot and have tried to memory hold the existence of the Bengals. I did something crazy today, though. I traded for Jamar Chase, but when you're trying to buy low on good talent, you just, you take your shot. But yeah, the Bengals are a nightmare right now. It's true.
And I built my list at least saying, like, okay, who's already eliminated from postseason contention virtually? Like, who is not getting back into this? And I think the 5 teams that are there are correct. They're not getting back into this. The Bengals.
Who wins more games, the Dolphins or the Bengals, though?
Oh, I actually think the Bengals will.
Okay.
Jake Browning's looked awful these last 2 games. I don't think that.
I won't tell you what I've been saying about him privately because I don't want to get in trouble, but he's been very bad.
I appreciate that. But I don't believe that he's this bad, that he'll play this terribly every single week. And if he does, then he's got a good amount of talent around him to the point where if it gets something going on offense, it doesn't take much on offense.
The line is bad, though, too.
That's true.
Like when you have a quarterback that's not very good and you have an O-line issue, that's a tough combo. And I think it's partially why they don't really seem motivated to go trade for a veteran. Zach Taylor gave Jake Browning the vote of confidence in his presser yesterday, which I was disappointed to hear. I wanted Brett Rippon to start this week.
Rippon and
He's
Rippon,
on the
baby.
Practice squad.
Yeah.
I mean, it cannot be worse is kind of my thought. But the Lions, sometimes when they just score so many damn points, it feels like it opens up the game a little bit. And so maybe the Bengals offense can get going a little bit. They won't. I don't think they'll beat Detroit. But if they end up losing this one like 37-27, at least we'll then say, okay, you found a little bit of footing behind Jake Browning. But if it's another like 28-3 type of result, and you and I aren't that high on the Broncos. So like those are decisive results against teams that we don't necessarily, I mean, believe the 48-10 to the Vikings was with Carson Wentz, the backup quarterback. So it's not like they're playing Super Bowl contenders in the way they're losing these games either.
No, it's been bleak and they'll fall off pretty quickly. But I just look at who they have around them talent wise. And I think it can't be this bad, right? Just change a few guys play a little bit better, and then they're headed potentially in a direction where they hang around in that division. I still don't think they're making the playoffs, but it's a little bit better situation than I think the Dolphins have, where they're just like they committed all that money to Tua, and he's just not good. Like he's not good anymore.
I think that's probably right,
but
I don't think it's all his fault. But
no.
I can't dispute what you're saying.
So from there, we'll go from the bottom 5 to the top 5. Where do we start with the top 5 list? Do we go 5 to 1? Do we go 1 to 5? What do we do here?
Oh, however you're ready to do it is fine with me.
Okay. I'm ready to go 5 to 1.
Okay.
Let's do it that way. My number 5 is the Green Bay Packers. I actually still think they should be here. The way that they're composed, the way they're coached, and the fact that several questions about them that I had going in, I think were answered pretty early when Jordan Love started the season the way that he did. I still think that matters. And they have a win that I think is very impressive against the Lions straight out of the gate. And you can say, look, things can change in the NFL very quickly. Yes, they should have lost the game against the Cowboys. And yes, that loss to the Browns is embarrassing, but I still see a path where the Packers can challenge for the division. They can, in so doing, challenge for the NFC in a spot where, look, there's maybe a couple of teams that very clearly are at the top of it, the Eagles and the Lions, but the Packers are not far off from that. And they've shown why they're capable of playing with those tough teams already this season. And I'm not discounting that based on the fact that a couple weeks in a row, they had the offense not be great and then the defense not be great. There will be ebbs and flows of that throughout the season. I still think the Packers are a very good team.
I think the Packers are a very good team. I think I'm a little bit more worried about their offense right now than I wish I was. And I'm not going to use the fact that they scored 40 points in their most recent game. the Cowboys defense is bad. If we were just doing the bottom 5 defenses, we would have talked about the Dallas Cowboys last hour.
Sure.
And so I'm not really going to use that as a way to say, oh, they're fixed. I think they're very, very, very good. I'm a little worried. And heck, they did. They gave up 40 points to Dallas as well. So the defense is supposed to be their bright spot. I was over my skis on the Packers, and they're not going to be in my top 5. I've got another NFC team. I was kind of going back and forth on the number 5 team, but I think I'm comfortable with where I'm at. And look, this could be famous last words. We could find out within 5 hours I'm wrong, but I'm going Rams actually at number 5. I think the Rams are a really good team, and I think they win this NFC West. They're playing the 49ers tonight. The Niners are without Brock Purdy. They're without Juwan Jennings. They're without Ricky Pearsall. The line has jumped up to Rams by 8.5. They're at home. If the Rams fumble this game or something crazy happens, it kind of feels like it did where we said, oh man, the Cowboys will have no chance against the Packers. And then they're in it to the end and they tie. So if the 49ers somehow hang with the Rams, I will dock the Rams for that. But right now I look at the Rams and say, do I trust Matt Stafford? I do. Do I trust Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams? I do. Is Kyron Williams good enough? Yes. Is their line good enough? It is. Do they have dudes on defense at every level of the defense? I think they do. They're a very well-rounded, balanced team, in my opinion. And so, they're edging out for me a team like the Packers ever so narrowly. I've got teams like the Jaguars that are maybe just on the outside of this list that I think people should start to respect, but I don't quite have them up to top 5 level yet. Same thing with the Colts and the Steelers. Chargers would have been in there for me, but they're also outside of my top 5 after losing to the Giants. I dock you for that pretty substantially. So I'm going Rams because right now I think I trust them more than all the teams I just kind of mentioned as my honorables.
And I don't doubt the type of skill they have on both sides of the ball, and they've put together a really good start to the year. The wins have come against the Texans, the Titans, and the Colts. The AFC South, essentially.
Now,
that's why.
And that's the worst division in football. But the Colts are 3-1. That's the only loss the Colts have taken.
True.
So, we got to I'm going to credit them for beating the Colts rather than maybe docking them. They had the Eagles on the ropes. The Eagles are going to end up very high on this list, obviously.
Yeah.
And I am not docking the Rams too much. They bungled it. But the Eagles have that 2024 Chiefs thing going on where if they're in it in the fourth quarter, they are going to beat you in the most devastating of ways at the very end of the game. And the Rams are a blocked field goal away from knocking off the Eagles and arguably being at the very top of all of our lists, right? Let's be real. If the Rams had beaten the Eagles and we're sitting there 4-0.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably number 1 or number 2 on this list. So
that's fair.
Understanding that they were a play away, I'm going to say Rams at number 5. And to me, it's the trust factor. And again, famous last words, if they lose tonight, different story, but I don't see them really disappointing me in the way that the Packers have done over the last 2 weeks. I trust them a little bit more to kind of be the team that we think they are.
Call or text us with your top 5 NFL teams, 875-5847 here on The Big Show. Who's your number 4 then? You've got the Rams at 5.
You're going to get mad. You're probably going to get mad, but this is where I have the Chiefs. Yep. I got the Chiefs here at number 4.
Oh, I'm not that mad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just think my assumption is you'll have the Chiefs higher than me. We'll find out. I'll give you a chance to reveal that. But when I think about where they're at and where I was at on them before, I wouldn't have had them sniffing this top 5 list. Even with a close win over the Ravens, I would not have had the Chiefs on this list yet. But I am capitulating back to the world in which we've known for however many years under Patrick Mahomes that the Chiefs are going to be there. And that's where I'm at right now. They're not higher on this list because there are some things I still need to see against non-Baltimore defenses. But I'm pretty confident now that with what we saw from Worthy, he's not going to be Thanos snapped into dust because of this torn labrum. He's going to wear a brace. He's going to get through it. He's going to be himself. I needed to see it before I could declare that. But since I saw it, I've seen it. And now I trust it. So I got the Chiefs at number 4 with obviously some serious upward mobility. There's plenty of room for them to go up on this list, but we have only played the 4 games. And I'm baking in what we saw in a couple of them. And so, yeah, they're there. But for me, I've got 3 teams that I am a little bit more confident in right now.
Yeah,
than KC.
And look, the fact that they used Worthy the way that he can be used with that injury, they may not have him do everything that they would have wanted him to do, but it's enough to the point where he can be effective. He can use his legs and he can still use his strength, which is the speed. That speeds out the defense. stretches things out, everything like that. And
he did do basically everything. I mean, he was getting end arounds. He was going deep. He was.
I'm talking about
middle.
maybe jump balls, because that's when you have to raise up your arms, and that's where the shoulder thing can come in. But they used them in the exact way you should use Xavier Worthy anyway, and so it didn't appear to affect him much. So no, that's it. 4 is a fine place to put the Chiefs. I do have them higher because I have the Lions at 4. Okay. The Lions are here with solely the fact that, hey, we're maybe a little bit worried about them week 1, but they have started to quell those concerns. The offense is back to where we expect it to be. I mean, look, putting up 34 points against the Browns is pretty impressive. I mean, that defense is the only thing that we talk about.
At first, I thought you were being sarcastic, but yeah, the Packers got 10. So I mean, yeah, it is notable that they blew them out.
So, I mean, look, this is the second best team, I think, very clearly in the NFC for my money. And so this is where they go. It's hard to compare and contrast. I have the Chiefs at 3. So it's not that much different from your ranking. I still, if I put even these two teams as they are currently composed, put the Chiefs up against the Lions today. I guess we're going to get that very soon, in a couple weeks. I will be picking the Chiefs to win the game.
I might take the Lions, but it is at Arrowhead, so that helps.
So I think for now, baking in my prediction of it, I would say the Chiefs are 3 and the Lions are 4.
Okay, and I went back and forth on the 2 NFC teams, but I think I'm going to land with the Lions at 3, which is against what my heart says to do, because I feel like the Lions are the more dominant team than the Eagles, but it really depends on your definition, because dominant just means like you have no hope when you play the Eagles. Yeah. You might not lose by a bunch of points, but you can't beat them. You have no hope. They are going to be more methodical than you. They're going to, it's not just the tush push, man, but they have a little bit of that inevitability going on right now.
Yeah.
Even though I think there's a lot about the Eagles that isn't firing on all cylinders, but that should scare the crap out of you that they're not firing on all cylinders yet. So Lions at 3, when I look at the way they've dominated in their recent wins, I'm impressed by it, but also they played the Browns, the Ravens defense, and the Bears defense. Like the one time they played a team that I expect to be a contender. And look, I thought the Ravens were one. Now I'm questioning it. It was the Packers, and they were out coached, they were out maneuvered, they were out everything in a 2-touchdown loss. So I'm going to err on the side of, the team that's been inevitable, the Philadelphia Eagles, get to go above the Lions for me. And then it was a decision between number 2 and number 1. Andy's going to have the Eagles at number 1. I'm going to have the Bills there. Am I correct?
That's correct. Yes, I have the Eagles at number
Allen.
1 and the
you
Bills
hate
at
him.
No, I don't.
You hate him.
Why do I hate him?
Why do you hate Josh Allen so much?
I don't hate Josh Allen. What are you talking about? I think he's
read
on
you like a book right there.
I think he's a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts, no doubt. I think he plays on a slightly not as good team as the Eagles right now. That's all. Because I do believe that the Eagles, yes, you're right. Everything has not looked perfect, and it seems out of sorts, and yet they're still winning games against good teams. The Bills have maybe not been all the way up to snuff, and they're just scooting by against some bad teams. Like they had to scoot by against the Dolphins not too long ago.
Dolphins played their best game of the year in that divisional
they
matchup,
did.
though. I will say that. They played better.
Played with some fight. That saved Mike McDaniel's job, I think, with how they played in it, for now, at least. But the way that the Eagles have done so against, look, these are, other than the Cowboys, these are all contending teams, Chiefs, Rams, Buccaneers. Like those are all teams that we expect to be in the postseason and maybe even win a game in the postseason with how they're looking at this point. So I give more deference to that when we're splitting hairs at this point as to who's the best and who's second best.
Yeah.
I go towards that, to the point where the Eagles probably should have won each of those games against contending teams by more points than they did. And the fact that they haven't, and maybe they will at some point, is a scary thought for everybody else.
Yeah, and I think if the Eagles and Bills played each other in the Super Bowl, the Bills want it to be 38-37 so that they have a chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
And the Eagles are going to be content to play it at just about any score, right? They're going to outmuscle you 23-20 if they have to. They're going to beat you 30-27 if they have to. And the Bills, I don't know if they're equipped to win in a lot of different ways. That Ravens game was like, yay, it's a shootout, and we know we're never dead in a shootout type of game, but the Eagles are going to grind you into paste. And so that is scary for me. A lot of sharp people think the Bills are in trouble this Sunday night hosting the Patriots. That's gonna be interesting. If the Bills cover in that spread, I will feel even more emboldened on, okay, the Bills are elite to the elite. They just haven't really had a chance to show it yet. Yeah. They played down on defense to the Saints. They played down to the competition a little bit. They played down, I think, to the Dolphins. I mean, they beat the Jets on the road by 20, and that's a divisional game. So, I am not looking at the Bills' results so far. Ravens have an elite offense before the Lamar injury, so the fact that they gave up the 40 doesn't really make me dock the Bills. It's just been a different type of schedule. You're right. The Eagles have had the tougher schedule, and so if it's resume based, I think it is probably the Eagles. But I'm leaning toward a little bit of that predictive as well, because I don't look at any game that the Bills are due to face and say they're not going to be the team that I would pick to win it. They do play the Eagles. It's very interesting. They play the Eagles week 17. So it's right before the playoffs. Both teams probably still playing for seeding that week, but they may not be the following week. And that's a really interesting time for that game to happen. So that's kind of where I'm at. James on YouTube, he ended up with Philly as the top team, then Lions, then the Bills. He'll keep the Chargers in his top 5, and then the Rams. No Chiefs there. Look, the Chiefs are record-wise not there, but I think I am buying back into there's not another team besides Buffalo that I consider to be a threat to the Chiefs in the AFC.
You think the Chiefs are letting that happen to the Chargers when they come to Arrowhead in however many weeks?
Maybe I'm sounding like a little bit of an amateur with this, because I was so firm in I don't know, I'm doubting the Chiefs. Doubt the Chiefs, and I'm still kind of doubting them in the big games. I want to see them win one of the big games against a Lions team in a couple of weeks. But I also feel very bought back into okay, they're going to be in the mix, and when they're in the mix, that means they're in the playoffs, and when they're in the playoffs, that means they have Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. And so I'm kind of okay, even if the Chargers win the division because they have such a good record that the Chiefs can't overcome it, whatever, I think probably the Chiefs are going to be the team that's inevitably back in the AFC Championship, probably facing Buffalo, and then we can go from there.
Call or text us with your top 5 NFL teams, 875-KTGR. And again, just like James, you can leave a comment on our YouTube channel right now at KTGR Sports. Go and check us out. We're live there, and be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss a single show. And be sure to follow us there throughout the rest of this week. 875-5847 if you want to weigh in on our top 5 NFL teams. We're going to help you out now with Play, Fade, Eliminate fantasy football advice with week 4 starting tonight, Rams and 49ers. What are you doing with all those injuries that are happening to guys like Pearsall and Purdy, and Kittle's been out a while, several other guys? What do you do? We'll get to that in Play, Fade, Eliminate next on The Big Show.
Breaking down the Tigers, Cardinals, Chiefs, and more like no one else. The Big Show continues next on KTGR.
Hey, it's Andy and Brenden here with Underdog Fantasy. Another football weekend about to begin with tonight's Thursday night game, and you can get in on Underdog right now. You can play here in Missouri. If you haven't downloaded the app yet, you can do so now, and be sure to get in on those picks that you can make tonight, Brenden.
Oh, and we're getting October started off the right way, because if you look at the 49ers, their starting lineup on offense is downright spooky. But I'm going to lean into it tonight with a revenge game narrative for Demarcus Robinson, a former Ram, going higher than 32.5 receiving yards as he's thrust into action with all the injuries the 49ers have.
Yeah, he can certainly benefit from that. So you take a player like him, you go to another team, you pick another player's stack, go higher or lower on it. You can even add more picks to it, put together an entry, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash, depending on how many picks you put in. And if you get all of them right, you could win big with Underdog Fantasy. So download the app today and sign up with our promo code KTGR to score $100 in bonus funds or entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code KTGR. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 or older and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Get ready for game day with Zing Zang. Zing Zang has you covered. Kick off with their ready-to-drink Bloody Marys featuring 6 times distilled vodka, or turn up the heat with their blazing Bloody Mary. Prefer margs? Enjoy classic or mango margarita, both made with premium Blanco tequila. With 9% alcohol, these cocktails deliver bartender-quality cocktails with legendary taste. Find Zing Zang at your local retailer. Zing Zang, taste the legend, and please Zing Zang responsibly.
Hit a deer, win a cow. Hit a deer, win a cow. Hit a deer, win a cow. FPP, Easy's 1, 2, 3. FPP, Easy's 1, 2, 3. FPP, Easy's 1, 2, 3. Award-winning auto collision repair. Don't wait, we're great. We work with all insurance companies. We work with all insurance companies. Yes, we work with your insurance company. New Bloomfield, Missouri. FPPBodyShop.com. 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 Fletcher, Performance and Paint.
This is Nevada Schauke with True Sun Exteriors and Interiors, and I'm the Exterior Director of Sales. In the construction industry, the last few years, we've had a roller coaster ride. One thing that has stayed pretty consistent or common is that vendors have continued to raise prices on materials. We have called up to collaborate with some of our large vendors that we work with to offer some year-end promotions. If you're looking to replace your roof, upgrade your deck to composite, replace your old worn-out windows and doors, give us a call. We also offer several financing options to meet most budgets. Your project must be purchased by the end of the year. This is a unique opportunity to save some money on your next home renovation.
The difference between a house and a home is the attention to detail. At True Sun Exteriors and Interiors, we'll turn your vision of a dream home into a reality. For more information or a free estimate, go to TrueSunExteriors.com.
TrueSunExteriors.com.
Shangri-La is proud to be a part of every black and gold home game this season at the Zimmer Tiger Tailgate. Swing by our tent to play games, win prizes, and hang out with Missouri's top team of cannabis aficionados. Want to join the fun? Pick up your free Tiger Tailgate tickets at any Shangri-La location. Then come find us on game day. We'll be bringing the energy, the prizes, and the community spirit that makes Tiger football unforgettable. Shangri-La Dispensaries is paradise found. ShangriLaDispensaries.com.
Back to more of the biggest sports stories in mid-Missouri. You've got The Big Show on the KTGR app.
Well, getting set for an NFL weekend that begins tonight, technically. Call or text us at 875-KTGR if you want to tell us your top 5 NFL teams. So we disagree at the top. Brenden has Bills, Eagles, then Lions, then Chiefs, and then Rams. I had Eagles at the top, followed by the Bills, followed by the Chiefs, followed by the Lions, followed by the Packers. Still think the Packers can get it done. But we'll see what there are some matchups this weekend that can shuffle things very clearly. And then in 2 weeks when the Chiefs play the Lions, that also will be very seminal moment.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I'm glad, though, that you didn't go so far into the homer realm that you didn't take Chiefs over the Bills to this point, which I think I would have had a little bit of pushback for.
No, not yet.
But time will tell. Like, there's plenty of time for that to become the case, without any doubt.
We'll see what both teams look like this week. And the Bills, I mean, look, you can't fault them for winning games. It's just that, against the teams they probably should have won by more. But
hey, let's say Jags beat the Chiefs on Monday night.
Yeah.
Where did they fall if you were to make an update based on that result?
Oh, the Chiefs probably go. I mean, they're probably out of the top 5. They're not probably far from it, though.
Does Jacksonville announce itself, though, is, I guess, my question. Because they're 3-1. That would put them to 4-1.
Yeah, I want to believe in them. The division obviously is light, so you can rack up wins that way. I don't know how great of a team I feel like they are at that point, though. So
I think they're a good team. If they beat the Chiefs by 10,
good team.
I would be like, I would say, hey, that's pretty good. If they squeak out a win where the Chiefs don't play very well and the Jaguars win it, I'm not gonna move the Jaguars over any of the other teams, assuming that the chalk holds, probably even including the Chiefs, because that is a game in Jacksonville, if I'm not mistaken. So I just was curious about that because that's one of the 3-1 teams that I was thinking about, but just didn't have room to plug in.
Well, we'll see what the shuffling can look like as the games keep rolling along. We'll have an update at some point of our top 5, bottom 5 NFL teams. You can text us yours at 875-KTGR, but we also want you to text us fantasy football questions now because
it's time to play Fade or Eliminate.
I got to say, I have several 49ers that I had to move out this week because there's so many of them hurt on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, they have injuries everywhere. But obviously on offense, you feel that in your fantasy football lineup. So what do? You're trying to get through Thursday night, play Fade Eliminate, text in your fantasy football questions to us. I know you had to kind of shuffle things around, I'm sure, with your many leagues.
I've made a lot of shuffling this week. I mean, I had Malik Neighbors in a league that I've had to really bounce back from. I've made enough trades to where it's like that never even happened to me. So I'm very proud of myself for getting back on the horse, as they say, making some moves, grinding waivers. What I'll say is, I don't know if it's specifically like a play fade eliminate, but generally, if you're true desperation, where like you've had so many injuries. I saw a guy on Twitter who posted his team and said, my season's over. And it's like every single player of his was on IR. And it might have been fake, but it's like possible to have had that happen.
Absolutely.
Like if you drafted Mike Evans, Tyreek Hill, Malik Neighbors,
James
the
Conner
list goes on. Yeah. James Conner, like you would be in that exact situation. I mean, Jaden Daniels has missed a couple of weeks. So even like good quarterbacks have been in that spot. George Kittle has been out. So like it's very possible to have drafted a team of studs and none of them are available to your team this week. I'm going to say a few names you can puke on all over the desk if you want. You can, if you're driving in your car, you can puke all over the steering wheel. But like tonight, the 49ers are going to play a football game and there has to be human beings that are throwing the football. McCaffrey is going to have 1 million fantasy points because he's probably going to catch everything and run. He's their only guy left standing. But Demarcus Robinson will be playing in a revenge game, former Ram. I think he's going to play snaps. He had been suspended the first 3 games of the season and just kind of got back in the mix last week. They need him now. Kendrick Bourne, I think, will also be on the field a bunch. So if you're one that thinks the Niners can keep it close against the Rams, I guess you could throw one of those guys in your lineups. I'm doing that with both of those players in various leagues that are very, very deep, and I'm in very, very much danger. Tonjes is their tight end playing for Kittle. Maybe Mac Jones and him link up a little bit. By the way, Sky Moore is also going to be probably pretty relevant in this game.
Here's the thing.
Their third wide receiver.
You know who else is in there?
MVS.
They've got MVS, Sky Moore, Demarcus Robinson. You know what? No excuses for the Niners tonight. That wide receiver group won a Super Bowl. Go and get the win, baby. Come on.
That's
you can do that. You can absolutely win tonight. And you have McCaffrey on the team. Come on. No excuses. None.
That is so
Go beat
good.
the Rams. Go get it done.
At first, I was thinking, oh, yeah, all those guys were Chiefs. And then you said, no, that room won a Super Bowl. I'm like, oh, that's right.
I think technically Robinson wasn't with Sky Moore, but Robinson still won a Super Bowl
it
with
doesn't
the Chiefs.
matter. That was really well played.
Come on.
Yeah, so anyway, if you're really desperate, put one of those guys in your lineup. Put him in a wide receiver spot. Don't put him in a flex. Don't flex your Thursday night guys. Don't flex your 8:30 a.m. Sunday morning guys. Always try to flex your primetime Monday nights, Sunday nights, because it gives you more flexibility when someone randomly comes up injured, that you've got more ways to get out of it if you put those guys in an earlier lineup spot.
All right. Play Fade Eliminate. Call or text us with your fantasy football questions. You can also leave comments on our YouTube channel. We are at youtube.com/@KTGR Sports. Text in from Jason. His Gauntlet League again is popping up.
He's still asking about it, so that means
he's still alive. He's still going.
He's fading it.
I don't know.
He's
Either
doing
way,
the opposite of it every single week.
It's very possible.
Alive.
You can do that if you want. Gauntlet, one spot. Rashad White, Trey Tucker, and Marvin Mims.
Marvin Mims had a 20 in PPR last week.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident that Bucky Irving is not going to play this weekend, so Rashad White would be my play. You gave me Mims, and who was the third guy?
Trey Tucker.
Trey Tucker. He'll either get you 40 or he'll get you 5. Yeah, Mims is the same way. He's kind of boom bust as well, but I trust him a little bit more than Tucker. I trust Bo Nix a little bit more than Geno right now. I don't even have the matchups handy, but it doesn't really matter. I think Rachaad White's role is a difference compared to the other two. Like, he's going to be the starting running back. Sean Tucker is going to be playing a decent amount, not Trey Tucker, but Sean Tucker, running back for the Bucs in the event that Bucky Irving is out of this game. But I think for PPR, Rachaad White's going to have the passing downs role and probably some of the early down stuff. Against Seattle, solid defense, but like there'll be some points that are scored in that game. That one's got sneaky shootout appeal. I would say it's an easy call of going White, in my opinion, especially in the format, because you know he's going to get touches. For those wide receivers, they're very boom bust. So unless the rest of your lineup is real iffy and you feel like you've got to swing for the fences, I'm going play on Rachaad White, fade on Mims, eliminate on Trey Tucker.
All right. Play, fade, eliminate. Here on the Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app. How about these three? Play, fade, eliminate. Trevion Henderson, Michael Carter, and Woody Marks.
I am one of those unfortunate souls that traded Woody Marks right before the breakout. I believed in him so much, and this week he gets the Ravens. So he's my play. I mean, he's going to surpass Nick Chubb in that backfield. He's going to be the number one for the Texans. It's only a matter of time. He's got juice. Nick Chubb, not as much juice at this stage of his career. So it's Woody Marks for me all day long. Michael Carter is talking as though he's starting for the Cardinals, though. So he's not a guy that I'm avoiding. I just don't think he's going to be as good for like PPR, half PPR, because he'll be more of the between the tackles runner, but he does get to face the Titans, which is a benefit. Trevion Henderson in a month will be somebody I'm not taking out of my lineup under any circumstance. But this week against the Bills, like, I just don't know how much Vrabel is going to trust him yet. They're still playing Ramondre Stevenson. They're still giving a run to Antonio Gibson. So if we treat this like a math equation, you're splitting that pie three ways. Even though Henderson, I think, has the highest upside and eventually will get more of the work, he hasn't yet fended off those other two veterans. And so in that matchup against the Bills, or really any other matchup, he's my eliminate for this week. When you've got options like Woody Marks and Michael Carter, who I believe are going to get more running back opportunities, I'll play Woody Marks. I'll fade Michael Carter, though I like him in the matchup he's in. I'm going to eliminate Henderson for this week, but it's a different story. I would still be trying to trade for Henderson because I think it's only a matter of time. When you have good options like that, I'm not starting him this week.
All right, play, fade, eliminate. Continue to text us your fantasy football questions, 573-875-KTGR. Here's one on wide receivers. Play, fade, eliminate between T. Higgins, Jordan Addison, Cooper Kupp.
Oh, it's hard what's happening with Cooper Kupp. You know, it's not like he's terrible, but that offense runs through Jackson Smith and Jigba in Seattle. It runs through the ground game, and they give it to both Kenny Walker and they give it to Zach Charbonnet. I just feel like Cooper Kupp is probably the third or fourth option, and he's got a rookie, Torrey Horton, that's kind of breathing down his neck too. So he won't kill you, but give me those other two names that you read off first. I think I preferred them both, honestly.
T. Higgins and Jordan Addison.
Yeah, so the problem for Higgins is obviously that he's got that Jake Browning thing going on.
Yeah.
But there might be a little bit of a get back for, like I said, the Lions score a bunch of points. They kind of lax up on defense. You might get some garbage time. I don't hate T. Higgins by any means. It's certainly a better matchup than that squirrely one that Addison faces over in, is it London this week? It's another one of those games across the pond.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah, Cleveland. Yep.
And the Browns defense, can be a little bit of a tricky matchup. But Addison looked very, very good. He was another guy that had that early season suspension, and he had a really nice game coming off of that. So I'm going to play Addison because I trust the talent and the situation. Probably going to be Carson Wentz again, even against the Browns defense that we view as kind of scary. I mean, they weren't scary when the Ravens went off on them, so it's possible to do. Give me Addison as the play, Higgins as the fade because of Browning. And I'm eliminating Kupp right now just because I don't think there's a lot of upside. He's got a floor. He'll get you 7 to 9 points, but it just doesn't seem like his role is going to get any bigger for a team that runs the ball as much as the Seahawks do.
All right, Play Fade Eliminate is not done. You can still text us with your fantasy football questions. You can comment on our YouTube channel, and our number is 573-875-KTGR here on The Big Show if you want to continue to get advice on your fantasy teams, and certainly for tonight's game between the Rams and the 49ers. Get to some of those as we roll along here on The Big Show, KTGR.
Now, your local sports center update on your total sports station, KTGR.
Good afternoon. I'm Andy Humphrey. This Sports Center update is with Lee's Tire Company. If it's round and rubber, Lee's sells it. Lee'sTireCompany.com. Fairly clean practice report for the Chiefs today as they get set for their matchup on Monday Night Football against the Jaguars. Only guy limited in practice was cornerback Christian Fulton. He has missed in the last couple of games due to injury for the Chiefs. So has defensive end Mike Dana, but he had a full practice today. And we'll see how he progresses throughout the rest of the week. Chiefs are 2-2, heading to face the 3-1 Jacksonville Jaguars. Kickoff is set for 7:15 on Monday from Jacksonville. 2 Mizzou football players named to midseason watch list for National College Football Awards today. Quarterback Bo Pribula named to the Maxwell Award watch list, going to the most outstanding all-around college football player according to the Maxwell Club. And linebacker Josiah Trotter named to the Bednarik Award watch list. That goes to the Maxwell Club's best defensive player in all of college football. Your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast is with Steve's Pest Control. The fall invasion is here. Call Steve and the pros at Steve's Pest Control today to help stop the fall pests from invading your home. Call or go online to stevespestcontrol.com.
I'm ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hafner. I'm tracking mostly clear skies, a temperature around 65 tonight. Tomorrow we'll see more sunshine. It's hot as temperatures get into the upper 80s to around 90 degrees. We'll have a warm weekend with sunshine and highs in the mid to upper 80s. Rain chances look to hold off until Monday night or Tuesday. I'm ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hafner, and that's your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast on your total sports station, KTGR.
Chiefs Kingdom lives here.
This is the Chiefs Kingdom.
Kansas City! Tune in every Monday night at 6 for the Chiefs Kingdom Show, hosted by the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis. Hear from head coach Andy Reid and your favorite Chiefs players all season long. After every game, enter the doors to the Chiefs Kingdom. Monday nights at 6, powered by Macadoodles, Steve's Pest Control, and your total sports station for all things Chiefs. KTGR.
Hi, everyone. Andy Humphrey here for ProfitShares.com. A great way to get involved in football season without spending any money. You can still show off the knowledge you have throughout football season, either in pro football or college football. But be sure to put your knowledge to the test soon, because if you want to get in on the Thursday night game tonight, well, be sure to enter into the Margin Madness contest for pro football. Be sure to sign up if you haven't already at ProfitShares.com. They'll start you out with 25,000 of their P dollars. That's what they call them. Those online points that you can use to enter into those contests. And then the more picks you get right, the more you climb up the leaderboard and you earn more of those points to then redeem for gift cards or charitable donations. So you can either treat the family for dinner or you can make a difference for a great cause. And it's all totally free. Just make your picks on ProfitShares.com. Go and check out their weekly contest right now. That's PROPHET shares.com.
Your to-do list keeps growing. Stop and breathe, because Bax Homeworks has the ultimate team for getting things done in 2025. Big or small, they truly do it all. So simplify the workflow and leave all that to Bax. Bathroom remodels? Check. Building the best deck? Yep. Patching the drywall? Easy. What part of they do it all did you not understand? Schedule your free estimate today. Then sit back while Bax Homeworks does their thing. Find them on Facebook or at BaxHomeworks.com. Bax Homeworks, getting your to-do list done.
1851 Underground in Fulton is a unique spot with delicious menu items like the prime rib sandwich, sliced and stacked with pepper jack cheese, caramelized onion, creamy horseradish, and crispy onion straws, all on ciabatta bread. Grab some friends and check out the daily happy hour from 3 to 5, weekends included. Enjoy a craft beer or a cocktail. It's no secret that it is underground. 1851 Underground Tap and Grill in the historic Brick District, downtown Fulton.
Hi, I'm Tristan Colon, Mizzou grad and 6-year NFL veteran.
I'm Charlie Sticklin.
And I'm Sarah Sticklin McDonald of the Sticklin & Sticklin Injury Law Firm.
In football, Home field advantage can make all the difference.
The same is true when choosing your injury lawyer.
We're locals. We know the courts, we know the towns, we know the people.
Just as I protect my team on the field.
Our family will protect your family.
When sorry just doesn't cut it.
Push back with Stickland and Stickland.
From Branson Landing to the Capitol Dome, Union Station to the Tigers' home. Big old service is Missouri's best. Our trusted team outpaces the rest. Show me state coverage wherever you go. We've got you covered at Big O. You've already met a few members of the Family Pawn family. Now it's time to meet the newest one. Family Pawn's South Columbia location is just off South Providence. And just like every Family Pawn, it's got a personality all its own. Different jewelry, different tools, different gadgets and gear. That's the beauty of the family. No two stores are exactly alike. So after you stop by your favorite, swing by South Columbia. It's your newest Family Pawn store to explore.
Not your traditional pawn shop. Family Pawn.
They can't shoot it straight on the golf course, but they can shoot straight on the biggest sports stories in mid-Missouri. Back to Andy and Brenden on The Big Show on KTGR.
You can still text in fantasy football questions to us at 573-875-KTGR. You can also leave comments on our YouTube channel. We're live right now at KTGR Sports. So we get you set for Rams and 49ers tonight. 49ers are 8.5-point underdogs against the Rams on the road tonight. But you know what? No excuses. No excuses at all. Come on.
They had that receiving core. It was good enough for Mahomes. It should be
Elite
good enough for Mac
receiving
Jones.
core, baby.
Yep.
Yep. Most elite in the league because they got a Super Bowl ring afterwards. That's all you need. Those guys. And then Christian McCaffrey too. Come on. Walk in the park.
I don't disagree.
It's going to be great to see DeMarcus Robinson rack up all those receptions, though, isn't it?
I kind of hope he does because I think I'm playing him in a league or two tonight. It's out of necessity, man. And the Rams have a good defense, so it might be one of those ugly games. It could be like a true Al Michaels special where he's, I don't know, complaining about, he's like, why is SoFi Stadium? It's a dome, but there's also, I can feel a draft in here. What's going on? It'll be, one of those type of games by the second half that just everybody loses interest. But, maybe it goes another way. Who's to say?
If we keep play fade eliminate going and we go to the quarterbacks, which again, like you might have a quarterback down or two.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's a bunch of week 5 buys.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a problem for some people.
Yeah, buys. And then if you got Lamar, he's probably, who knows if he's going to play. Purdy's still out. Jaden Daniels should be fine. But I mean, let's rattle off these three. Jackson Dart, Bryce Young, Bo Nix.
I'm actually playing Jackson Dart against the Saints in a league where I have Caleb Williams on bye.
I picked him up in a couple spots. Yeah.
I'm playing Bryce Young in another league, but that Jackson Dart I don't believe was an option for me in that league. And Bo Nix is interesting. Like Dart for me, no Malik Neighbors, that hurts my soul, but there's rushing upside for him. Like he showed right away he can move. It feels comfortable doing it. So like there's, and it's again the matchup against the Saints. You're in a dome, so throwing shouldn't be. There's no weather to worry about. I don't really like the Saints fans will still bring it. That's a tough road environment. But again, their team is just not that high quality, and their defense is not very good. I'm checking for who the Broncos play. I mean, yeah, at the Eagles, I'm playing Jackson Dart. I'm going to go Dart number 1. He's my play. I would say. I think I'm just eliminating Nix because of the Eagles matchup, but. You could go who is the other guy? Oh, yeah. I mean, Bryce Young has been terrible, but he's playing the Dolphins and at home. So I think of those three, Nix is probably my third option of the three. But I don't feel a ton of confidence in Bryce Young either where I'm playing him because he has truly been abhorrent. But fire up Jackson Dart. That's what I'm doing.
We're going to soon find out that Bo Nix is not fit for this league, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's another world where this game, though, the Eagles win it, but it's kind of like, whatever, shoot out a little bit, 37 or like 31-27, and Nix puts up fantasy points, and that could work out. But I just, with having those other options, I don't think I want to wade into those waters if I can avoid it.
Look, I know Chase Daniel had a big breakdown of Bo Nix and how he's looking really good and looks like a grizzled veteran at this point. Like, okay, yeah, that's nice. I don't think so.
You're a hater.
Yeah, I am a hater. Am I turning into too much of a Broncos hater? It's the Chiefs homer in me. It's starting to now permeate into the teams that they hate. Like,
that's one thing.
It's all that.
When I lost my Rams, fandom, and I don't really have a true diehard fandom anymore, it has sort of changed for me that I don't hate anybody. Like, there's no team in football that I'm not objective about because of a bias against them because I don't like them. There's not really anything like that anymore for me.
That's a freeing thought, honestly.
It is freeing.
Be free of hate of other teams. You can judge normally and all of that. And I obviously don't, because I'm now starting to very much dislike the Broncos.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
if it's just a bias thing because I'm married into a Chiefs family, so be it.
Yep.
I suppose.
You're going to own that.
I will own that. Like, don't listen to me, I guess, if you want an objective take on the Broncos, because I'm going to say, no, Bo Nix, he's going to play him out, and Sean Payton will eventually get fired after, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, because if he sticks with that quarterback for too long and like that doesn't work out, that's kind of your chosen horse. Doesn't mean Sean Payton's a bad coach, but it would seem weird to have him fired, though. I don't know.
That'd be with what they invested to get him there, because they technically had to trade for him. He was still kind of like with the Saints, even though he wasn't coaching the Saints at the time. So they had to give up a lot to bring him to Denver, and certainly he wanted to. So it's not like they had to really convince him, but it wasn't going to cost him nothing, and they had to give the Saints something too. And so you essentially said goodbye to Russell Wilson and had to eat a whole bunch of money, like a historic amount, to tell him to go away because Sean Payton couldn't work. I'm like, no, I can't do this. And so now you're going to Bo Nix, and okay, good luck. I'm not ready to say that it's a success yet.
It's not. I mean, they're not guaranteed to be out of the basement of the AFC West this year, because I think the Raiders are a little bit better than we thought they would be, and the Broncos haven't shown us a ton yet. So time will tell.
So we'll see, as the Broncos, I'm sure, will win this weekend against the Eagles. Right as I say this, they'll be the ones that hand the Eagles their first loss of the season. But thanks for joining us today anyway. And be sure to tune in tonight for some postseason baseball. Red Sox and Yankees, that should be electric. Tune in. 6:30 is when ESPN Radio's coverage begins right here on KTGR. And we'll see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I know it's a bye week for Mizzou, but we'll still have Rob Vino of WagerTalk.com weigh in on the college football and NFL weekend. We'll have our picks of the week, of course, so be sure to join us tomorrow. He's Brenden. I'm Andy. We're done for now.
This weekend, cancel your plans. Brunch is calling at the Dive Bar in Columbia. Start with biscuits, not